Before words, there is quiet. Before quiet, there is the valley that receives the wind. I have watched the mountains for a long time. They do not announce their height. They do not hurry to be seen. Yet all rivers find their way to them, and all clouds rest upon their shoulders. The Tao moves like this. When life becomes loud, when footsteps multiply and voices chase one another, the Tao does not argue. It withdraws slightly, like water sinking into the soil at dusk. Those who strain to grasp it feel only dryness in their hands. Those who loosen their grip feel the coolness rising around their ankles. I speak to you now of the quiet life, not as a retreat, not as refusal, not as virtue displayed, but as alignment. The quiet life is not something one builds, it is something one stops disturbing. Look at the river in the early morning. No oars strike its surface, no commands echo across it. Still, it moves. It moves without effort, without pride, without delay. It does not ask where it should go. It follows the shape of the land, and the land reveals itself by receiving the water. So it is with those who align with the Tao. I once walked beside a farmer at dawn. His fields were narrow, pressed between low hills. He carried no tools, only a rope loosely coiled at his waist. We walked without speaking. When we reached the edge of the field, he stopped. He watched the ground. He watched the mist lift. Only after a long while did he step forward and begin his work. I asked him, "Why do you wait?" He did not answer at once. He tied the rope to a wooden post and leaned against it, as if listening to something beneath the soil. At last he said, "If I begin before the ground is ready, I will work twice." Then he returned to silence. The field taught me more than his words. Many live as if the day must be conquered. They rise already running. They speak before listening. They act before seeing. Their lives become crowded with motion, yet nothing settles. They exhaust themselves polishing what does not need shine and repairing what was never broken. The Tao does not reward effort. It responds to harmony. The quiet life is not empty. It is spacious, like a bowl whose usefulness lies in its hollow. Its power comes from what it does not contain. When the mind is noisy, every choice feels heavy. When the mind is still, even great matters pass lightly through the hands. I once met a traveler crossing a dry plain. The sun stood high and his pace was hurried. He carried many possessions tied to his back, bundles of cloth, small tools, keepsakes from villages already far behind him. As the heat grew stronger, his steps became uneven. He stopped often, cursing the distance. Ahead of him walked a child. The child carried nothing. He moved slowly, sometimes stopping to watch insects cross the sand or to follow the shape of a cloud with his finger. The traveler passed him again and again, yet each time he did, the child was resting beneath a small tree or beside a rock, calm and untroubled. At dusk, they reached the same well. The traveler collapsed beside it, trembling with thirst. The child arrived shortly after, unburdened, and drew water with steady hands. The child did not win. The traveler did not lose. The plain revealed its nature to both. So it is with life. Those who carry too much, plans, identities, fears, ambitions, move quickly but rest rarely. Those who move quietly may appear slow, but they arrive intact. The Tao does not rush because it is never late.
In the world you inhabit now, sound multiplies easily, images compete, words chase attention like merchants in a crowded market. Many believe that to be seen is to exist, that to speak is to matter. But the Tao has always favored the low place, the shadowed path, the unclaimed seat. The valley is not admired for its height, yet it gathers all waters. A ruler once asked me how to govern his people. His court was filled with advisors, each offering laws sharper than the last. Punishments were discussed, rewards were measured. The ruler's brow was tense, his sleep shallow. I told him a story instead.
There was once a village beside a river. The river flooded each year, sometimes gently, sometimes fiercely. A new ruler ordered walls built along its banks. Stone was piled high, guards were stationed to watch the water. For a time, the floods were held back. The people praised the walls. Then one year, the river rose higher than before. The walls cracked. When they broke, the water rushed in with great force, destroying homes and fields alike. Later, another ruler came. He ordered the walls taken down. The people feared this. But the ruler widened the river's banks and allowed space for the water to spread. When the floods came, they moved slowly, nourishing the soil. The village endured. I did not explain the story to the ruler. I watched his face soften as the meaning found its own way in. Control resists the Tao. Allowance aligns with it. The quiet life does not mean withdrawing from the world. It means no longer wrestling with it. It means knowing when to step forward and when to remain still, not because of rules, but because of resonance. When you do less, what remains becomes clear. Many believe that quiet is weakness. They confuse stillness with absence. But look at the mountain in winter. Nothing moves upon it, yet it holds the snow, shapes the wind, and guides the thaw. Its influence is constant precisely because it does not interfere. So it is with a person who lives quietly. Such a person does not announce their intentions. They do not decorate their virtue. They do not chase recognition. Their words are few. Their presence is wide. Others feel settled near them without knowing why. This is not strategy, it is alignment. In relationships, noise often comes from fear. Fear of being unseen, fear of being left, fear of losing control. Words pile upon words, promises tighten, expectations harden. The Tao flows away from such grasping. Quiet allows space for truth to breathe. I once saw two bamboo stalks growing side by side. One had been bound tightly to a post, straightened by force. The other grew freely, bending with the wind. When the storm came, the bound stalk snapped. The free one bowed and survived. Which one lacked strength? The Tao does not oppose force with force. It dissolves it through yielding. In work, many push as if the earth were an enemy. They measure their worth by motion, their value by exhaustion. Yet the most enduring creations arise from patience, from waiting until the grain is ripe, until the wood is seasoned, until the mind is clear. A woodcutter once sharpened his blade, while others laughed at him for delaying the work. When they returned hours later, their blades dull and arms aching, he had already finished and was resting beneath a tree. No lesson was spoken. The tree witnessed it all. The quiet life aligns with the Tao because the Tao is not loud. It does not advertise its presence. It moves beneath appearances, shaping outcomes without demanding credit. When you stop forcing meaning, meaning reveals itself. When you stop pursuing peace, peace remains.
I do not ask you to change your life. I do not ask you to simplify, withdraw, or renounce. I only point to the water and ask you to watch how it moves. Does it strain to reach the sea? Does it resent the stones in its path? It flows, and in flowing, it becomes vast. The quiet life is not chosen. It emerges when striving loosens its grip. It appears when ambition rests long enough to hear the deeper current beneath it. When you align with the Tao, your life may look ordinary. You may not stand apart. You may not be noticed. Yet within there will be room for breath, room for listening, room for the natural order to arrange itself without interference. The greatest noise comes from resisting what is. The deepest quiet comes from allowing what unfolds. I have spoken enough. The valley remains. The river continues. Those who listen will hear without effort.